Hi, and welcome to Poppin' Conversations, the podcast series where we keep it relatable, ridiculous, and realer than we probably should. I'm Shakara, and I'm here with my remarkable mother, Ebony,
Hello, I'm her remarkable mother, Ebony.
and we're kicking off our latest episode. What are we talking about today, Mom?
So today, on today's episode, we're going to be talking about setting boundaries with family. And to me, you can go beyond family. You can go with people in general. But so be sure to follow us on IG at Poppin' Conversations. So Shakar,
Hmm.
do you think setting boundaries with family is challenging? Because I don't.
You don't think it's challenging?
No. Just
You
like you
do.
said, no.
Well, let's get right into it. Okay, so I'll go first of why I think it's challenging, and then you can say your. So
Okay.
I think it's challenging because I feel like they feel that they're obligated to know so much about what's going on. Perhaps like with social media and all the oversharing at your fingertips these days, it's almost like people look at me like, why don't we know what's going on? And you see, I grew up with a diary. So if there's something going on, like I still kind of internalize, I write it down, I try to pray on it heavily, then just share or call somebody and go off because I might be in my feelings for 5 seconds, but then I could be over it. And then they're still upset. And now, because my family don't play, we don't play about each other. So I can't just be calling and sharing every little thing because y'all not gonna forget, y'all are ride or die.
Yeah, and people, I mean, and I know people do feel like we are secretive, but I don't feel like I have to share anything with you. If I do, it's because I chose to and not because you made me feel like I have to. So I know that people don't respect boundaries all the time. And don't ask me why. They think that they're privy to everything that's going on. And maybe, like you said, it's because of the oversharing people on social media, they're oversharing, but that's not my ministry. I have boundaries for a reason, and they're tough boundaries. And I share what I want to share, and what I don't want to share, I don't.
And also, they think because they share so much, it's almost like, okay, now it's your turn. What you got? And I'm like, I don't have anything. I have nothing. Whitney Houston, I have nothing for you, okay?
So they think that pretty much you owe them your time and energy.
Yeah, or just all my business. I think that's the biggest boundary because I'm pretty open, but it's just the boundary of especially with my relationship. I hold it
Most of
so tight and I don't play like
me
it's
too. You
lock
know,
and key for various
someone
reasons.
someone asks, people will inbox you some of the most amazing things. And I get, my husband just recently joined social media,
Mhm.
and I don't post him every time for everything or a knowledge. It's a lot that he does. I mean, he's an amazing man, but I don't share a lot. I mean, family, like if you are here and you're in the present, you know what he's doing. I'm not going to tell you. He knows. I acknowledge him. But I only put certain stuff on social media. I put out there what I want you to know about me. And if I put it out there, it's because I want you to know about me. But you better not ask me about my personal girl. I'm old school, from the hood, straight from the D. Like, what we gonna do? Like,
It's just nosy. And I think, like I said, because they overshare, like it was a period of time people thought that my husband was invisible. Like
I
he
remember that.
wasn't real. Like it was just my imagination. And I'm just like, he's real. But also, I feel like it's an overcompensation a lot of the times. A lot of instances that I see where people are putting all this stuff on the internet is overcompensating because they're truly not happy or struggling with some
Or
things.
something.
And it's none of my business, but you put it out there and it's like, are you really happy? Like, are you trying to prove to us? So we don't really care. But since you put it out there,
And I'm gonna
like,
read, and I'm nosy, and I'm
I
gonna probably
see it.
screenshot
You send it
and
to me.
send it to you. I may not comment because sometimes I don't care if you share and whatever you put out there. I figure you want people to know, but don't expect that in return from me. That's what you like to do. That's why we're two different people. You like to, I don't. I believe in setting boundaries. I'm not an oversharer. I think it's a balance. My mom used to say it's a time and a place for everything. So I think I do a good job of sharing things that I want to share and want people to know. But that doesn't mean that you about to know everything about what's going on over here. And that don't mean that we angels over here because,
Yeah.
I've heard that, oh, you guys must live in glass houses. Nope. This boy be brick by brick, been built. It was day by day, moment by moment. But you don't have to know the struggles that's going on over here all the time. If your relationship is without trouble and without ever having to have a brick rebuilt, good for you, because that didn't happen over here. But we have a strong foundation and we good over here. And I'm not gonna say Pete don't get on my nerves. I ain't gonna say I get on his
Not too
nerves.
much on my dad, okay?
I ain't gonna say I don't get on his nerves, but I'm sure I do get on his nerves. But I'm really a good little
No.
angel. I'm so
Yeah.
sweet and nice. Everybody love me. So just because we're close, don't mean you need to hear everything about me. Now, except there's some exception in there. I got a BFF. She know all y'all business. So yeah, she know where all the bones, buried, everything. So
Think
yeah,
you can ask a question too though. It's fair for people. Like you can ask me a question, but don't
man,
expect
you're
for
not
me
gonna
to
answer
just
it.
tell you. Like I tell you what you ask.
Yeah. So
It
yeah,
depends on who
because
you are too though.
it
And
just
why you
it
asking.
people just need to understand that you don't need to know everything about everybody. Like, for instance, I believe that you do have to be a gatekeeper of some things. Some things just don't need to be said.
Hmm.
But there are people, they don't have that. It's so again, to each his own. I not only set boundaries for myself on what I'm gonna do and not gonna do, for you, my favorite daughter, for my husband, for family and friends. I don't too much let people cross boundaries with me. And I know people think I'm so sweet and nice, and I am. I am. But please don't test the water because it's warm over here. I
And you can't
smile
go
too much.
back. You can't go back too. So
Yeah,
you just
man.
like, and you always
You
taught me
want
that.
me to keep, you want to keep me. I always say I'm two people. I'm two, and I know I'm two. I'm Mrs. Cobb and I'm Ebony. And you want to keep me in that Mrs. Cobb mode because Ebony is straight who she is, what she was raised, how she was raised, from the streets of the D. And look, I'm not going to cut your throat down, but I'm going to tell you how it is. So I do believe that there are boundaries, and I will not let people cross my boundaries because once they cross them, that's it.
Yeah, you don't play. But one thing you taught me is the power of consistency as well. If you stick to your guns and you say, I'm not doing that, or I am. But if you are wishy-washy and one day you're down to
Hmm.
do this and the next day you're not because you just the wind blew, like people
Correct.
are not going to understand for one or respect you. It's kind of just like this person is what they call it fake,
Correct.
wishy-washy. They already know from how you set the stage from day one day you're not doing it with them. You're not going to certain places. Like some people want to talk about things that are just inappropriate. Talk about people, other family members. You don't play that. And you raised us to be like that. And again, I feel like that's why my cousins and I, we all really love each other. You guys set that foundation. We're not going to be messy. We're not going to be
No, not
talking
at
about
all.
each other. And that's a boundary.
We
Find
value
somebody else to
relationship.
talk to about that mess because I'm not the one.
We value relationship. Now Big B, now Big B, and we ain't gonna say who Big B is. Yeah, but Big B, when Big B hear this, Big B know who Big B is. Big, and everybody else don't know. But Big B, I love all of my nieces and nephews, but Big B be, auntie. So,
But she's consistent.
she
So
consistent.
she's
Boy,
consistent.
I be like, she be like, tell me if I was wrong. I just be shaking my head like,
So you have those
girl.
family members where you know who they are. They
Hmm.
are who they are because they've been that way since they were kids.
But she gonna tell
Consistency.
you that we have treated her and treated everybody the same because we value relationship, and nobody can say they come in our presence and we treated you a certain way. If so, it was earned because we match action and energy.
I
It was
didn't expect
earned.
you to say that.
Well, I don't try to treat people not well because I believe in the principles of the Bible. And I stand like I don't just talk the talk. I walk howsoever. As the song say, please be patient with me. You're not finished with me yet. Don't test the water. I'm serious. It's like people take you there and forget that they took you there. So don't take me there because I'm still human, and I try to make people feel better when they leave me than when they
Mm.
came. That's always my model, for you to leave feeling better than when you came. So that's always going to be my approach. So, but don't test the water.
Please don't. God is still working on me.
Me too. Every day, every day. I mean, family is huge for us. You
Yeah.
know us. You know we huge. So if one of us walk out the room, if we talking about each other because we cracking a joke, but we not talking on each out on talking about each other in a malice way. Well, not my immediate people. I don't know what some of y'all people that's not so connected to me, but the ones
Yeah.
that I have an input in, and we're together on a regular. Our job is to uplift each other. I always say that if somebody come in your presence and you having a conversation with them and you feel bad and they can't turn that conversation around in a couple of minutes, that's not the person you need to talk to. Period.
That is very true. Yeah, perhaps you should speak to someone else or journal or
Correct.
pray. That person is helping you.
Consistency is definitely important, and the point is you have to set boundaries and stick to them, and that's just been my experience, because if not, there's too many blurred lines, just too many blurred lines. And I'm not saying I've always been perfect with this, not perfect, but I've been pretty good over the years with it. I mean, I can do better in some areas. Can I? Yeah.
Yes, we can always do better. I can do better with finding out what to share and what not to share because, like this summer, I'm going on 9 years of marriage, which is very beautiful. And I want to share more of just what that comes with because it's not easy. It's not just happens. So we
Yeah.
don't just wake up and it's just, oh, it takes so much effort, intention, and just our friendship. We never stop working on our friendship because those days when you don't have anything else, my husband is still my best friend. I could talk to him
Correct.
about anything. Even when we're upset, it's just like, I'm upset because you did this. Now leave me alone. I'm going to take a shower.
Yeah.
And it's
I
still like you have to be, but again, we've been like this since we were young. Love, friendship, prayer, and a good modeling of what that
hmm
looks like. I didn't see you guys tearing each other down and all that. So
no.
I want to share more of that with people. So that's
I
something
don't
I'm
believe in
working
that,
on.
but hitting below the belt is
Yeah, because you can't ever get it back. What
can't
you
come
say out
back
your
from,
mouth.
once you let that word come out. You can apologize, but you can never take it back. So I mean, I'm like I said, I'm gonna tell you how I feel. I'm standing on business. I'm gonna express my opinion, but I don't think it has to be done in a malice, hurtful way. So that's growth, and that's always how I've been since day one. I mean, it's not too many people that can tell you that I just maliciously cut them down. If they did, what did you say to her, for real? Because you something ain't
What
right.
did you do?
What did you do? So I know that for you, that it's hard for people to hear you say no. Why? Why
Yeah.
you think that?
Because
Why?
people, why people, it's hard for me to say no because
No,
I
I mean
feel,
when you do your boundaries, and you have certain family members or people that are just not used to hearing no. Like they ask you to do something and you say no with no explanation behind it, and they're looking at you. Why do you think they
mm,
find that hard? Especially with you, because if I say no, everybody just like Auntie said no.
first off, people aren't used to hearing no. And I say no, and there's nothing else after it. It's just no, I'm not doing that. But secondly, I feel, and this is something I've always struggled with, I've been fortunate enough to have so many things in my life. And so I feel like people, it's like the whole spoil, because I am an only child. I was
You
raised
are
very
loved
nicely.
and spoiled, but you're loved,
And
number
spoiled,
one.
yeah, and I have a lot of things. I've always had a lot of things, and I've worked hard to keep
You
and to
have,
continue to have
and you've
a
earned
lot of
them.
things. But people feel as though they are entitled to those things,
Correct.
or they try to guilt trip you. Well,
Mm-hmm.
because you had this, even with my relationship, well, because your husband didn't do this, or it's so offensive, almost like you don't take into account anything, any of the work that I had to put into. So if I say no, it's like you say
Why
no,
not?
like why not? Like what else do you have to do? It was
Like your
given to
mama
you.
didn't
You didn't work
struggle
for it.
hard
Yeah.
to make sure you stayed
So
in a
why you
two family
saying no?
household and went to college all them nights and earned them degrees and went and worked in that schoolhouse all them years so you could get what you and loved on you
And
as a
you saying
child
no, you
and
didn't do
took
anything.
you
This was
somewhere.
given to you. You're a little young spoiled kid.
Sacrifices that was made for your little
Like
spoiled
I didn't
self.
sacrifice anything. I didn't put in any work, I guess. You didn't either.
I didn't do nothing, girl. This it happened by osmosis, like we
Yeah,
like to say.
so
It
it's
just
like I
happened,
owe people. I don't owe any except for my child.
girl.
That is
You
the
better
only
say
person I
that.
owe anything to because she did not ask to be here.
Yeah, because people people trusted, boy. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
They say things to me all this. That's why I do like having a new jobs and stuff where people don't know you. So you like they don't really know your upbringing. They don't know anything. So you can kind of just be whoever you want to be rather
Hmm.
than people who know you because then they start saying little slick stuff like you
People are
owe
so
them
smart.
something. Like I don't owe you anything. Don't try to make me feel bad for being blessed.
Yeah, I think what people don't understand is that those boundary lines, let's keep them tight. But you have to understand people made sacrifices in whatever way. If you chose to stay and do or not do, they always say like we were always in the same house. Everybody, you went A, I went B, somebody else went C. You were only child. I knew how I was raised. No parents in the household. Being affected by drugs in the '90s, really in our community and what it did to my household. As a person who grew up with all of that foolery, I said that I was going to get a man that was going to marry me and who was going to be a part of my life. If not, see you later. It just happened. He do the right thing. So let's just keep it real. I mean, he is consistent with what he does. Do we need to grow? Of course. But boundaries. Like I don't understand why people think that they owe anything, whether it's family, friends, or whatever. Whatever I share, you ought to be like, oh, that girl shared. Like even,
Exactly.
what I just shared recently. I didn't have to share that. I chose to. But you better not go digging too far into asking me some other stuff. No, let me just say that. I will share. I would say to a point, but not in a malice way. Don't be trying to be. And I know I'm old enough to know when it's not in good intention. So
Like quizzing you or like okay,
yeah.
what's happening here?
No, we're not doing that. So I know that I practice peace. So I believe in, I want to go into a retreat. I can really learn how to get into that whole, ooh, it's me. But I think it's important. I think you're doing a good job. I think you send a clear message. If you say you could do better, do better.
Absolutely.
I believe you send a clear message in what you share and what you don't share. And then when you're ready to share something, I believe that you will share it. Um, and that's all that matters with that is it's about what your comfortability level is. When you're ready to share more, share.
I will. I will keep that in mind. And then again, like I don't want ever people think I'm like bragging or I struggle with that too. So it's just finding a good balance. But that's why we're here with the podcast. If you ever have any questions, feel free to send it to us. Again, we're learning, we're growing. I would love to share more, finding ways to do so on certain
Exactly.
topics. But let's give it a shot. If you ever have any questions, feel free to send them to me. I will answer it or I will answer as much as I feel comfortable with answering. But again, I do think it's important for us to share things, have this platform. It's not easy. I got married at 23 years old. We've lived all around the world. Like there's so much we'll dig deeper into our relationships and how we both have been married and how that started and growth over the years. I think that would be really interesting. But in the meantime, again, if you have any questions, send them to us. You can leave them in the comments or DM us, and I would love to answer it and explore it with you guys because we're here to grow together.
Well, thank you for joining us for today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on Poppin' Conversations podcast on YouTube, or you can visit us over on IG at Poppin' Conversation. And join us next time because we're going to dive into some different communication styles. And it's going to be fun. So keep it real and keep it popping.